Hello and welcome to an extreme puzzle today. One app that I have consistently played with on my phone is a Sudoku app by the company www.giannina.com. I rather like this app because it tends to spit out nice looking Sudokus. Some of them can be very difficult at the extreme level, some of them are less so. But it has a nice, easy interface and it's nice to play with. So I copied this extreme puzzle over to the sudokuexchange.com user interface and we should now try to solve it together. Before I do that though, I would like to thank all the new subscribers. I'm really happy and a little humbled to see how many new subscribers get added every week. Possibly because of some interactions I have had in Vietnam, I could say chào mừng đến với những người Việt đăng ký. Welcome to my Vietnamese subscribers, and I've also seen some Spanish speakers. So, bienvenido a mis nuevos suscriptores hispanohablantes. So, that out of the way, let me get on with the puzzle. It's always nice to get the first digit out of the way, so let's plug in a 1 here, shall we? That's easy because of the two ones here. And now I know that one of these two cells will have to be a 1 because of this one here and this one up here. Let's see, 9 will have to go in one of these two cells. And the 3 here and the 3 here, blocking these cells. So for column 9, the 3 will have to go right here. And we have a 9 in this block, and we also have a 9 in block 4. We need to find a 9 for block 5. So this 9 blocks these cells, and this 9 blocks these cells, and this 9 blocks these cells, and the 9 here blocks these two. So the only place that we can enter a 9 now is going to be here. One reason I like this app is that the Sudoku grids that it generates can be very hard to get started with for some reason. That makes it more challenging for me. So there's a 9 that goes here because of the 9 here and the 9 here blocking these 3 cells. So this is a 9 now. And the 9 here and here blocking these 5 cells, and these two 9s blocking these 2 cells. Puts a 9 in this cell by force. And now, of course, one of these 2 cells will have to be a 2 because of the 2 here. And this 5 blocks these 2 cells. Therefore, this cell must be a 5. And now the 5 here and a possible 2 up here and the 2 and a 5 here puts a 2 and a 5 in these 3 cells. So it's always nice to find at least 2, sometimes 3 of the digits that will have to go in one of these boxes in one row, because it makes it easier sometimes to find the last digit. The 9 up here and the 9 here and this 9 block all of these cells. Not this one, of course. So the 9 will have to go here for the 9th column. And that's it for the 9s. Let's move on and see what else we have. Well, of course, one of these will have to be a 3 and the other will have to be a 2. And there's a 3 already here, so the 2 must go here and the 3 here. And now one of these 2 will have to be a 3. We still need to find a 6, 7, 8 for these 3 empty cells, and there is nothing I can do about that at this time. But there is a 6 to be found, and I found it, and it goes here because the 6 here blocks these cells. The 6 here blocks these cells. So a 6 for this column, and therefore also for this box, will have to go either here or here. Wherever it will end up being, in combination with the 6 here, this is the only place where a 6 can go in this column. And now the 6 here and the 6 here blocking these cells puts a 6 in this cell or in this cell. And therefore, for the first box, a 6 will have to go either here or here now. It is clear that the 7 here and the 4, they will have to go here and here. And that gives me a 1, 6, and an 8 for these 3 cells, doesn't it? And the 1 cannot go here. And because of the 1 here, it cannot go here either. So this must be the 1. Now this is a 6 or an 8, and this is a 6 or an 8, except it cannot be a 6 because of the 6 here, of course. So the 8 goes here and the 6 here. And that gives me a 6 for this cell, doesn't it? Because we just established a moment ago that one of these cells must be a 6. So with the 6 here, a 6 is confined to one of these 3 cells. And now that we have 6s in row 1 and 3, the 6 must go in row 2. When I'm nearly stuck, I usually resign myself to just counting and looking at a row and seeing what is missing. And for row 2, we are missing a 2, 3, 5, and a 7. And then I scan the columns. There's a 2, 7, and a 3 already in this column. So this cell has got to be a 5. I know it's a cheap trick, but as long as it works, doesn't it? And the 5 here now and this 5 puts a 5 in this cell up here, like so. And now we have these two 5s. We need to find a 5 for row 3, and it cannot go here because of this 5. Therefore, it goes here. And the 5 for the 9th row now, because of the 5 here and here, and these two 5s, this must be a 5. And as we recall, we need to find a 2 also for one of these 3 cells, and it clearly can't go here because of this 2. So this is a 2 now, and the 2 here and here puts a 2 in this cell, like so. And therefore, in this cell, making this a 3. This cell cannot be a 3 because of the 3 here. So we have to find a 3 in one of these 3 cells. We have a 3 here and here already. So this cell, of course, now must be a 3. We can plug in a 7 here, of course. And that makes this cell a 7. And this now also must be a 7. And therefore, this is a 7 because of these 3 7s blocking all of these cells here. And that makes this a 7, doesn't it? The last cell up here has got to be a 4, making this a 3. And the 4 here and 4 here and 4 here, of course, puts a 4 in this cell. Now the last two cells in this column is going to be a 2 and a 7. The 7 can't go here, therefore this is a 2 and this is a 7. This cell now must be a 2. And the last two cells up here are going to be a 3 and an 8. And there's a 3 already that blocks this cell, so the 8 goes here and the 3 here. These two cells now have to be a 1 and an 8. This cell cannot be a 1 because of the 1 in the top row. So the 1 will go here and the 8 here. Let's see now. This cell must be a 1 because of the 1 up here. And this now has got to be a 4. The 1 here and the 1 here and the 1 here will put a 1 in this cell like so. We need to find an 8 and a 6 for these two cells. And therefore these have to be a 3 and 4. This cell here cannot be a 4, so it must be a 3. And this is now a 4. And these two have to be an 8 and a 6. The 8 here puts a 6 in this cell, and the 8 goes here. These two cells have to be a 6 and a 4. There's a 4 already present in this row, so the 6 goes here and the 4 here. And I think we are getting close to all the 4s now. This is now a 4, of course. And this must be an 8. That makes this a 5. And the last cell in this row has got to be a 6. 6 here, the 6 here puts a 6 in this cell, and this cell has got to be an 8, as we said before, making this an 8 and making this a 2. That was not very difficult, I admit, but I like most of these puzzles from this app, as I said earlier, because they tend to generate non-standard puzzles. And sometimes these puzzles, at least at the extreme level, can be quite challenging. Let me see if I can find one at a later date that is more challenging than this one. In any event, I hope you enjoyed it and that you will be back for more. Bye for now.